Well, then let's quickly tell you about, well, before that, today in Osogbo, the capital of Osun State, two different political rallies happened between the Social Democratic Party candidate Iyola Omishore and the candidate of the APC, Mr. Oyetola. Those rallies held today, and the candidates took to the stage promising voters of what they would do if they get elected. But let's move straight to our major story of today. The election year is approaching. The process to electing officials to different positions has kicked off. INEC is updating its voter register, giving information of how far they've come in registering voters up until now. Now, different political parties are already planning ahead of the 2019 general election. Some of them have released the schedule for their election. The APC, as a party, has released the modalities for the primaries towards electing candidates for the different elective positions. But the party, at the end of its NEC meeting, decided that it will adopt the direct primaries to select flag bearer in the presidential race and for all the political offices. Since that announcement has been made, there have been different reactions from the state. Ondo, Nasarawa, Kogi, Rivers, Bauchi, Imo, Kaduna, Borno, Ogun, Plateau states. As a matter of fact, virtually almost all the state chapters are opting for indirect primary. So what does this mean? Are they flouting the rules set by the party's National Executive Committee? Or what exactly is the internal politics of the APC looking like? Well, let's get straight into the heart of the matter tonight. Joining me from Abuja, the panel to discuss these issues tonight, I have a chieftain of the APC, Mr. Fuad Oki, and also a presidential aspirant of the APC, Dr. Abubakar Alkali. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the program tonight. Let me begin the conversation with you, Mr. Oki. When the National Executive Committee of the party, that is the second highest organ of the APC, says this is where we're going. In fact, there seems to be some controversies because after that meeting, if we can play that video to show what Governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, said after that NEC meeting, he gave the breakdown of what they agreed, and in that meeting he did say, after the meeting he did say, for presidential position it will be direct, and perhaps indirect primaries for other positions. But the party came back to say, no, it will be direct primaries for all the positions. Well, Mr. Oki, what do you think is happening in the APC?
Well, Shane, it is rather unfortunate that we have found ourselves again in this very, very sad situation. A situation where you have, at the end of a NEC meeting, governors coming out to say exactly what happened at the NEC, and the party turning around to say, no, it is something different. I think it calls for a lot of interrogation, exactly what happened. We all need to know. It's not so much about the issue of direct or indirect primary. It's about the issue of exactly what transpired. And the party must come out very clearly to tell Nigerians, and indeed the party members, exactly what the resolutions were. Is it for direct primary? Is it for indirect primary? Yes, the position of the party is very clear as to the mode of primaries. It may be direct, it could be indirect. You may choose to go through the route of consensus. But where the neck of the party has met, the neck of the party must come out very clearly, soundly too, what was agreed upon. What we are now seeing, it's indeed a show of shame. And it only goes to show the level of preparedness of our party and the type of party leadership we have, which is unfortunate. If we go back to the necessity or otherwise, and you recall as far back as 2017, and in particular February this year, that I started the agitation for us to give the party back to Nigerians. Let the party members own their party. However, there are several things which must be put in place to make the primary, either direct or indirect, credible. The issue of credibility is coming to play now. The integrity of the exercise is staring all of us in the face. And as a party that is telling Nigerians we want to change this country for the better, as a party that is telling Nigeria, yes, we are capable of changing it, I think the event of the last couple of days is worrisome. The event of the last couple of days, it's not what Nigerians expect from us. We must come out boldly. If we want to do direct primaries, we must go back to the INEC regulation of 2014, which talks about, requirements or demand of every political party in order to have its primaries. The most important thing is the membership register. How credible is our membership register? I have a situation on my hand in Lagos, and indeed the whole Southwest, where someone has appropriated the membership register for the whole of Southwest. And that is what we all saw in Osun. And I think that should be a lesson. We have, the issue of credibility, of the basic ingredient for any party primary, the membership register, that is the delegate list. Who constitutes delegates to a particular primary? Is it acceptable to all members of the party? Is it acceptable to all aspirants in that contest? If we ask INEC by law to paste the voters list, then all political parties, especially wanting to do direct primaries, must also paste it for every member of the party to know.
Mr. Oki, let's bring in Dr. Alkali just for a moment. Let's bring in Dr. Alkali quickly. He's one of those who are eyeing an elective office. And at this time, are you confused on what the party said and what is happening in several states of the Federation, where the state chapters are going for a different thing from what the party at the center had agreed on?
Oh, thank you very much, Sheun. Just a little correction here. I'm actually Abubakar Al-Ali, Dr. Abubakar Al-Ali, and not Abdul Qadir Al-Ali. This is, to say the least, worrisome. I'll look at it from two angles. On one hand, I will say that the disagreement is not a good omen for our party. It's not a good omen for the APC, which is, of course, the ruling party and which all other parties look up to for direction. On the other hand, I will also look at it as something that is kind of normal in the democracy. You really cannot avoid it. There will always be disagreements. But at the end of the day, I think the bottom line is, what does the law say? What is contained in the law? What is contained in the Electoral Act? What is contained in the APC Constitution? In the Electoral Act, clearly, both indirect and direct primaries are allowed for the parties. And of course, in the APC Constitution, the direct primaries and the indirect primaries are always there. But then, at the end of the day, as loyal members of the party, as people who have signed to respect the ideals of the party, we have to respect the supremacy of the party. So I believe very strongly that at the end of the day, there will be a meeting point. I really believe that.
Dr. Akali, if I may quickly come in here, is it a sort of a revolt? Because there are some critics who are saying that the governors are trying to have their way, and the direction the party was making earlier about the way to go was against the wishes of some of the governors. Is it kind of a revolt from some of the governors from what you perceive?
Well, it's not really a revolt per se. I will prefer to look at it from the angle of change. This is part of the change we are talking about. And this is part of the change that the APC is coming in with. Because, you see, we are used to a particular way of life. We are used to doing something in a particular way that suits us. And we all know that before this dispensation, indirect primaries have been the order of the day. And it's so worrisome then. It's something to really worry about, that people actually call indirect primaries cash and carry method. It's cash and carry. You simply pay the delegates, and they vote for you. So that is really worrisome. That is what the governors and other leaders of the party before now are used to. What the national chairman and other leaders of the party, the new leadership of the party, is trying to do is to change that. And there will certainly be some resistance. But at the end of the day, I'm very sure, as I said, that there will be a meeting point. But also, just one point, which is that we have at least moved from where we are to somewhere further, because at least there is an agreement that the presidential primaries will be direct.
Okay. At that point, let's take a quick break. But when we come back, we will dig deeper into this matter and, of course, also talk about the issue of the cost of nomination forms and expression forms for the APC. That's next on the program, everyone. Join us again.